step into a world of ash and darkness, where legends come to life and ancient powers linger. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging, where we are playing Forbidden Lands, embarking on an epic journey through the frozen glaciers, volcanic mountains, and treacherous seas. Join us as we set sail on long ships, explore the unknown, brave danger, and discover untold treasures that lie beneath ash and snow. So grab your weapons, sharpen your wits, and put your back into the oar, because the adventure begins now. We are opening up. It is now fully dark. You all are leaving the warrens. Ash is slowly falling down. There's a little bit of glimmer. A little bit of moonlight shines through the clouds above. Nothing direct, but enough to just barely light where you're going. You have torchlight. The torches flicker, and they send shadows across the forest around you. Bacho, you are almost bathed in blood here as you slaughtered so many Skraeling. It really was a massacre. At least 20, almost 30 Skraeling were killed. The scent of blood is thick in the air, and it brings back memories. Memories of what?
As I go, I remember. I remember the first true massacre. I had just finished my first hunt with my pack, my original pack. We were crossing a snowy field. We didn't know that beneath it had once been an ancient battlefield. And they rose on that night as the ash fell and coated our fur, the dead clamoring for the living. They tore at our legs, pulled us into the snowdrifts. In moments, my pack had slipped from sight. I had just finished my first hunt, spear in hand. Something clutched at me, was pulling at me, tearing at my belly. And I stabbed down with my spear over and over again until I felt freedom. And then a grasp at my shoulder, and I spun and struck, and the spear pierced through the sternum of my cousin. She yelped and bled out in my arms, her blood coating her fur, her life blood coating my fur. I howled and howled, and it was not until the next morning that I was being dragged away from the battlefield by the remainder of my pack that I remembered my own name. I know slaughter of old, but that first one, that haunts my every dream.
You're haunted by these memories, these shadows in your mind. You see the shadows in the darkness. A few of them look like the Wolfkin that you fought along, your cousin that you killed. The group of you continue on. You make your way to Rochdale. The small little palisade is closed now. You can see that there are still lights and fires burning inside. People are still awake, but it appears to be sealed up. What would you guys like to do?
We must find some place to rest. We're all injured. We're exhausted. If these things come at us again, we need to be better prepared.
Something else you would all know about this world is that it becomes extremely dangerous after dark. There are a lot of demonic creatures that come up from the depths, that come out of the shadows. And while there is travel that happens overnight, it's best to have a campfire of sorts or being inside a palisade, something like that.
And how tall were these palisades again?
The palisades are about 1.5 man tall. Not extremely tall, but tall enough. About 3 Mirrens. And there is the gate. You absolutely could knock on it and try to get in. There's likely to be a guard, but it is sealed right now. And there's no one outside.
Well, then we do need to get in. Let's knock and hope.
There is
And
no
Mirren
reason
will
to-
kind of like...
There's no reason to be deceptive if we do not have to be. So yes, knock.
Oh, yes, of course. And Mirren will go up to the front gate and go as loudly as she possibly can from a very low down.
You hear a voice growl out from the other side. It's sharp, but familiar. You recognize it as Steiner, the guard who you met earlier. Who goes there?
Steiner, we're the visitors that we just came in earlier today and warned of the Reavers. Please, we had an incident with the Skraelings, and we're out beyond time that we should be. Can you let us in?
There's a pause, and then you hear the bar being lifted on the other side of the gate. It doesn't open all the way, just enough for Steiner to look at you all. I thought you all ran.
No, our group got a little split up, and we needed to go get everybody together. It was a bit of an accident. But if you could just let us in, we do have lodgings for the night. We're all good. We just need to be let in, please.
Your presence has been commanded at the Thane's hall. He pulls open the gate even more, allows you all in. You see that there are actually several guards here at the gate now. A lot of the Thane's men who were called earlier in the day have arrived, and there's 4 or 5 of them here at the gate. They begin closing the gate behind you. Steiner begins to lead you towards the hall. Again, It's not a... Yeah.
I was just saying, Bacho, before he walks off, shakes like a dog and blood splatters all over the guards. And he kind of gives a wolfish smile.
A couple of the guards, they're obviously not very seasoned, and they just look horrified at the sight in front of them. But they do continue closing the gate. Steiner is completely unfazed by it. As you start walking to the hall, you pass by Oscar's house, where you were supposed to stay. And you notice, Zaldrin, that Ven and Cloud are no longer tied up outside his house.
This is, and she'll call back to Steiner. What gives? Our horses were there.
You're at the Thane's hall. As I said, you're commanded to his presence.
Can we have a bit of a hint as to why?
As to why the Thane commanded you to...
Yes, come to the Thane's place and took our horses. We had lodgings here.
You don't know why. Well, it's not for me to say. And he continues walking towards the hall.
Like, what, did you guys do something while I was out? No, man. News of the Warrens couldn't have gotten back here fast enough. It must be something else. It must be the Reavers, I would think.
Still quite rude. First, they assume I would have left without my horse, and then they move my horse without my permission. Sir.
Well, the humans. They're forever imposing their wills upon the other races.
This is true.
I think we can all agree on that here.
Yes, I don't like humans, but we should probably go see this Thane again. It was very rude before, but I think he is just afraid and not used to his power being questioned. He's very big fish, small pond kind of man, it seems.
Apparently cannot handle things at his doorstep, says he could not handle the Skraeling issue that was literally right outside his doorstep.
He might not have known. It's not as though the Skraelings invite many non-Skraelings to the Warrens.
We'll see if we are received with any appreciation for this task that we just completed.
Do we want to talk about it at all, though?
Get like stories straight. Hey, yes, that is. They should know, though. They should know. There was a parasite of some kind. We should warn them.
Be informed.
let's just hear what he has to say first, perhaps, and then we'll read the room at that point.
Yes, I would love that. Wolford was also there.
Wolford is with you guys right now, too.
Oh, hey, buddy.
He came back from the Warrens with you all.
That's
so
right.
it doesn't take long to cross this small little hamlet. You reach the Lord's Hall. Zaldrin, you would see that Ven and Cloud are in the stables back behind the hall. It's more of a lean-to. It's open with a few posts that they're tied to, but they're under the covers there, under the covered roof there. Steiner goes towards the door of the hall, and there are actually 2 guards at the doors now. Steiner says, only the Lord's Hearthmen are allowed to have weapons in the hall. And this would be very common etiquette that you all would know. Most lords do not allow weapons in their hall. The fact that you were able to carry your weapons in earlier that day is basically a pass because there was no one guarding. It's kind of like if there's no one to take the weapon, you're allowed to carry it in, is how the etiquette goes.
Even walking sticks.
No, you'd be able to. It's like spears and swords. You can keep daggers. You can keep walking sticks, that kind of stuff.
Oh, good.
You can't separate someone from their walking stick.
No, not at all. How would I walk? I'm very used to being on all fours, so I need this to be able to walk in bipedal nature.
Exactly.
Then I have
So
two
Steiner
steps
goes
now, too.
To take Mirren's bow, Zaldrin's spear, and Bacho's sword. There's a guard that's going to watch them the whole time. It's not like you have to worry about
the rest of my weaponry as well?
Yes, probably.
Here's a spear. Here's a dagger. Here's my quiver.
You can keep the knife.
Bacho hands over his sword and he curls his lips back in a snarl to show his fangs and his claws. And he's like, take the sword. You can't disarm a Wolfkin.
And there's this whole theory of hospitality, too, that if you go into a Lord's Hall and you give your weapons up, you're under the Lord's protection as well. Mm-hmm. So if anything happened to you, it would be a crime that the Lord is committing by not defending you. So the group of you go in and you find this hall is much more packed than it was before. It looks as if they're at the end of a feast. All the food is scraps now. There are plenty of inebriated men and women that have been going through the stores of ale and mead. You see the thane Ken Bear seated at the far end of the hall. And when you come in, there's a strange quiet that falls over the room. Everyone turns and looks at you, and then they turn and look at the thane. Well,
can I get a vibe check on the room?
Yeah, you can do an insight if you want.
Can I? Yes, that would be great. So for insight, this is going to be, there it is. Only my wits, which is a 3, which we'll cross our fingers and hope we roll well. We did not roll well. We got 5s and 3s.
Yeah. These are all people that you've never met. So understanding what they're thinking would be difficult in the first place. But the fact that the entire hall looked at you and looked at the thane, it's not good, is all you can figure out. The thane then speaks. We thought you had fled when your deceit was shown. Why would you return?
Because we did not deceive.
Then explain yourselves.
It's simple. It's simple. We went out looking for our friend Gunk. We found a bunch of horribly diseased Skraelings. We slaughtered them all except for the few that ran, and then we came back for a bath and a sleep.
Also,
I'm not concerned with the Skraeling.
you're speaking of the reavers that we saw in the farmstead that killed a bunch of the knights, and you think we lied about that. Why?
The thane looks over to one of the men. He's armed with a short sword, and he's wearing this chain shirt, but he's a very large person, and the chainmail just seems to be kind of stretched on him. You can almost see through the rings into the fabric underneath. He's got medium length curly hair. Geralt, why don't you tell the story and we can catch them in their deception? The man clears his throat. Yes, Lord. As I was saying, it was earlier today when I was with my Lord Roderick and we went to fight the Reavers. Unfortunately, we were led into a trap by one of the blackbirds. She was supposedly trying to help us, but she led us right into a Reaver ambush. She was obviously allied with them. I fought valiantly as hard as I could, but Roderick fell and our line broke, and I had no choice but to run. I hid in a thicket, and that's when I saw these 5, and he points to you all, talking with the blackbird. They then claimed my Lord Roderick's horse as their prize from the Reavers. And the thane looks at you. You had the horse in your possession, did you not?
Yes. Other than this man's blatant lying and clearly attempt to present a more masculine look than maybe he has, you do understand this is essentially his word versus our word, and we warned you about the Reavers instead of lying about them, and we did come back not knowing any of this information, which leads you to perhaps believe that we believe what we said.
The man who told the story speaks up. I am of noble blood. You dare accuse me of lying.
You're an idiot.
Well, a liar is a liar.
Yeah, the accusation of lying actually came from you to us. We presented our information first. You have presented your information and accused us of lying. So yes, I do believe we will ensure that we have spoken for our names, as you have chosen to slander them.
The man turns from you and faces the thane. My lord, I am thankful that you are wise enough to see through these lies. I know that you would never believe bandits and rogues such as these.
I can smell the urine soaking his pants and breeches from down here. Thank you.
The thane himself looks rather impassive. You can't tell necessarily what he's thinking either way.
Let me be clear, Lord. We did meet with this blackbird person. She was hiding. She told us that she warned this group that they were riding into an ambush, but in their arrogance, they believed their strength outweighed the Reaver's strength. And we did watch as they were slaughtered, and this one ran like a coward. We took the horse and we brought it back here. We made no attempt to disguise it or make any claims other than the fact that we saw the Reavers and came immediately here to report it. And if this fat lout wants to call a Wolfkin warrior a coward or a liar, I'm happy to meet him blade for blade and prove the point of my courage.
Oh, a test of strength.
This actually is a part of law in the Savage Seas, is that you can demand a trial by combat, Bacho, if that's what you're going for. That's something you can absolutely be trying to do.
That is what he's going for. He's either going to live or die proud. But after
the man, Bacho, give me what would the intimidation be?
Might, maybe?
Yeah, might. Give me a might.
Okay. Okay, I'm a little under the weather because my strength's a little down, but I will give it a shot.
And remember that we have no less than 32 audience.
Okay. I
bonuses.
will take one audience bonus die then. I got 2 6s and a 1, so I'm not going to push it, but 2 successes.
The man does begin to cower. You can see him ever so slightly trembling, and he takes a step back. He looks back towards the thane. Lord, I just came from a fight. I'm tired. I'm weary. You know my word is good.
Well, then I'll meet you in the morning.
Lowers his head. The thane begins to stroke his chin, his little goatee.
Fresh piss.
Seeing as how Lord Roderick was not oathbound to me, and that these men that he led were not my men, but they were fighting on my land, I do not believe that I am the judge to decide what is right and wrong here. However, in the morning, I will rescind my hospitality. I would request that the 5 of you leave with all due haste.
We would be happy to comply, Lord. We weren't planning on staying anyway.
I would argue that we have done nothing wrong. We made arrangements for a place to sleep, place for my horse to rest. I do not believe we have done anything to deserve being kicked out of such a night's slumber where we can lick our wounds as they were.
As I said, in the morning, I will rescind my hospitality. You have one night.
More than fair. More than fair. More than fair.
Yes, and Zaldrin, we wouldn't want to stay at a place that houses a coward anyway.
That's true. His stench of cowardice is overwhelming
Pungent
to my nose.
The thane starts to bristle at that, because while you could insult the man who's not bound to him at all, now you're starting to insult the thane.
No,
but he does let it go.
No, not the thane, just the other guy.
The thane is housing the coward.
Oh, yeah,
we would not
that's
stay in a
right.
place that houses cowards.
Can
yeah.
Kong strategically interrupt?
I caught
me?
it.
Thane, there is other business.
What?
If you have a moment.
Geralt, please show yourself to my quarters. Make yourself at ease. The larger man goes to the back and was very glad to be out of sight of Bacho.
I will spend 1 willpower point to get a good whiff of his scent and track him for at least a day.
How close do you have to be for that?
Just there's not really a distance. I'm pretty sure within a room, but
you're across a larger hall, but if there's no real distance, like, you're close enough.
I think it's within sight. I think that's the only requirement. If you can see him.
Gunk, you were saying?
Yes, my Lord Thane, there is other business I would like to discuss with you, if you would be so kind as to lend us your time.
Why should I lend my time to those who insult me, to those who are accused brigands?
Well, I apologize for the behavior of my compatriots, but they have been accused of wrongdoing, and it is within their rights, and the rights of any person, to defend themselves, and to do so with great energy, and sometimes bristling can happen, as you might expect. It's not easy for one to sit here and have their word and their decency be questioned, which is what has happened here.
Give me a manipulation with a bonus die.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll go ahead and take one of those audience die.
All right.
Right.
You're taking an audience die with the bonus die?
Oh, you gave me a bonus. No, that's fine.
I'm sorry. Did I mute myself?
No, I heard it.
No, it's fine. All right, here we go. Oh, bonus die. Oh, God. What is it with this game and me rolling like nothing but 6s and 1s? I rolled a 6, 1 success, but then I also have 2 1s, and I don't want to push any further. So I'll just take the 6.
Sure.
He thinks for a moment. Says, I invited you to a feast. You all chose not to show. I sit here, I am benevolent in my judgment, and you still insult me. And yet I will not have any say that I'm not a fair thane. You may speak your piece.
Well, sir, my lord, I apologize for our absence. It was my fault, in fact. I left earlier to visit my people, the Skraeling Warren, outside of your town, and I discovered something most alarming. The Warren was infected with a parasitic creature, caused the Skraeling to go mad, almost cannibalistic. And my life was threatened, and my friends came to help, and that is why we're not here. And so I apologize. But in more import, there was a danger on your doorstep. Yes, we have taken care of it for now, but it is not just the reverse that seems to be coming to Rochdale, but this other thing, something insidious, something old, something ancient. And all of the Skraelings that lived in the warrens outside of Rochdale, they are no more now. They were swayed and changed, an evil of some kind. Now, we came here freely and offered this information when I could have not said a word. But the people here, within your walls, your palisades, they do not deserve to have such threats. It is only right for me to warn you.
These are bold claims that you are making. I trust that you have evidence to support yourself.
I will hold up the staff that I have with the crystal staff with the skulls and all that kind of stuff.
The leader
Was and I'm trying to get the name here.
Skull.
Yeah, Skull.
The leader is named Skull. And they spoke not as though they were the Skraeling themselves, but the creature that had found home within the Skull's body, and they come from the north. Old mind. This is one piece of evidence. The other evidence you can see for yourselves if you choose to go visit the warren. It is in shambles. The threat of this parasitic infection, perhaps growing beyond the boundaries of the warren. We have taken care of it. We have burnt it. But you can see more of what has happened. And there is also this.
And I did take one little baby thingy, and that's what I'm going to show him. And I'm going to set it down like as carefully on like the table or something like that in front of him.
And finally, there is this. This is a very small larva of what is most likely going to be a larger eel-like creature that will burrow into the bodies and take over them somehow.
You set the pouch on the very end of the feasting table, and one of the Thane's hearthmen comes up and takes the pouch and looks in. You can see his shock and fear, and he dumps it out on the table. And the little worm is just wiggling about, twisting and writhing. He takes a feasting knife and stabs it, picks it up and carries it to the Thane, and it's still wiggling on the knife like a worm on a hook.
Be very careful. Do not let it touch your skin.
The Thane takes the knife and is looking at it. Sorry, go ahead, Mirren.
Oh, no, I was just going to say my friend Gunk is far kinder and more generous than I. The parasite is by the worshippers of the children of Desheb. They called it the Skaldun or something along those lines. Yes, it's very bad.
The Thane takes the knife and he looks at this. Well, this is very strange. I do not see how much harm a little worm can cause. I cannot find myself to be too concerned about a disease that has stricken the Skraeling when the scourge of the Reaver is on my doorstep.
Tunk will suppress his anger at the racism that has been thrown in his direction, and he will say, in terms of size, my good thane, does not the spider bite cause great discomfort and death? Does not the snake, which is quite small as well, does that not also hurt? Isn't it true that the smallest of scorpions carries the most potent of venom? Do not let the size of this thing make you believe that it is not a danger. And as for whether or not this infects just Skraeling, well, perhaps you are right in that matter. I do not know. We only saw the rats who were infected. But we have seen other creatures, a bear once, in the forest far from here. So I would not be so quick to presume that it is just Skraeling who will be infected by this.
I hear you.
Cool.
I will take your advice under consideration. But again, the Reavers are on my doorstep. I will concern myself with the spider in the thatch when the wolf in the house is killed.
As you wish.
I might recommend reading up on some of the old gods as well, Ben, for when you're ready for the spider.
Sorry, I'm blanking here. I will send for a librarian. We do not do much reading around here.
Yes.
Let the humans deal with their own human concerns. We've got other places to be. Thank you for your hospitality, Thane, and we will leave tomorrow morning.
With that, you guys are able to take a few scraps to eat from the feast if you'd like. You can grab a few tankards of ale on your way out. Steiner is outside the hall, and he'll give you all your weapons back. He'll also talk to you. There is a merchant named Octa. He has a ship, the Sea Raven, just off the coast. I believe he's leaving tomorrow for Terran, but if you pay him well enough, he might take you to the coast of Lingen. He'll cross the channel for you. I know he leaves first thing in the morning, so I would not oversleep.
Where is he staying?
He was in the hall.
Okay. Thank you, Steiner. I hope that the leeches or the reavers don't kill you soon. Good luck.
Thank you. I will not need it. I will not need it.
Right.
And with that, you guys are able to head back across the little hamlet. Zaldrin, you can leave your horse in the stable if you want and get it in the morning. It's not like it's off limits to you or anything. Or you can take it if you want to have her closer to Oscar.
Ven is coming with us.
Okay, fair enough. So you grab her out of the stables. Are you grabbing Cloud too?
So was Mr. Lies Through His Teeth in there claiming stake to Cloud?
No one has formally seized any property from you, so you would be well within your rights to take Cloud if you want.
Okay. Cloud will come.
All right.
With Ven.
So you get both the horses and you head back over to Oscar. The lights are low in Oscar's hut, but they're still up. You're able to knock. He's still up. You see Voku the sorcerer is already lying on the dirt floor, ready to sleep. He makes room for all of you. And we'll say the night passes there, unless you guys have anything you want to do before you sleep.
Mm-mm.
All right. So go ahead and recover all your attributes there. You all get a nice restful sleep by a fire. And we are going to move on to the next day. So we are moving into the next week, y'all. It is now the week of Andal. And that means that this is the warmest week of the year. And it's also the lightest week of the year. There are 4 segments in a Forbidden Lands day: morning, daytime, evening, nighttime. And this is the only week where morning, daytime, and evening are all light. Nighttime is the only dark time. You have 6 days of this. And then you're in for a rough patch because the week of Gwenot is going to be dark the entire day. It's a week-long eclipse, basically. You're going to have 6 days of night. You would do well to try and use it as downtime or at least find a place to hole up. But if you want to journey during that, you can. Just know that it'll be a bit more dangerous. Gunk. You have a strange dream during the night. What is a skraeling that was close to you during your childhood in a positive way?
A skraeling. I would say I probably had a sister of sorts. Perhaps not from the same mother, but I had a sister named Tulip. This was her name because she liked to wear tulips within her fur, sticking out here and there. And I've known her since I was young pup. And we would wander forest. We would collect odds and ends together. And likely she is the one who helped me learn a bit of my survival knowledge.
You are remembering a time when you and Tulip were children. You know, in this dream, you still have your child skraeling body, and you're running through the warrens and the tunnels as fast as you can. You turn around a corner, chasing after Tulip. She had just tagged you, and you're trying to catch her now. And you see Skull as an adult in front of you. You're still childlike, looking up, and you see Skull. Instead of wearing the headdress she was wearing before, she's wearing the cranium of Tulip. The flowers are still in the headdress, decorated the same way before. Skull begins to open her mouth, and one of these eels begins to slither out towards you. You feel as if you're frozen. But before the eel reaches out to give you the kiss of the Skaden, you awake, and it is morning.
Is anyone awake currently?
You are the first awake, but everyone is waking up around the same time.
So he will just feel his head. He will quickly go through his things, check the staff. He will kind of look at his fingers for some reason, constantly looking at them in his mouth, and he's like kind of matted down probably because he has been sort of sweating through his furs. They will look to see if anyone has noticed his strange behavior. And then he will sort of move over towards Bacho. And he will say, Bacho, are you awake?
Yes, Gunk. What is it? Enemies at the door?
No. Enemies in my mind. I saw Skull in my dreams. One of these creatures. An old friend. Neither here nor there, but they were there. They were reaching for me. It kind of... tell me it's just my mind playing tricks. It is just my overactive imagination. There is nothing prophetic about it. Yes, there's nothing prophetic. Yes.
Bacha will stick his muzzle right up against the fur of Gunk's throat and give it a big smell and look back and taste the air. Gunk, you just smell of Gunk. There is no stench of the beast about you. Okay. It was just in your mind.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're safe with me.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Okay. I do not like these creatures. I do not like them. I do not like that they attacked my people. I do not like that we had to destroy a warren. I do not like that we could not save them. These are not good days.
No.
Not good days.
We should take this ship and get as far from this land as we can.
Yes. I am worried, though. This is 2 times now in a week that we have encountered these creatures. We have encountered them. Are we Yeah. Could we? No. Could we? No.
And he's like constantly kind of starting these thoughts in his head, like, are we?
It is our fault. Are we marked in some ways? Are we drawing their attention? Are we being pushed or pulled out of? Is the Earth Mother at work here? Does she want something from us? Does she? No. It's just bad dream.
If she's asking anything from us, it's to stop these things where we find them, and that means wherever we go, our path is what she wants from us.
Yes. There is wisdom. That is wisdom. Yes, I agree. We will do right, whether squareling or human or some other creature. We will fight these things. Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you, brother. I feel better.
Always, my friend.
The four of you get up, you gather your things. When you're able to have a few rations and things like that, some hard bread as breakfast. Oscar didn't have anything made, so it's whatever you guys have. Let's go ahead and roll resources for that too, for your food. So Kipser, this is in your gear. You'll see food on the bottom left. Yep, go ahead and click it. And if it's a 1 or a 2, I believe it is, it goes down like Zaldrin.
That's correct. Yep. A 1 or a 2, you reduce it die size.
All right. So Zaldrin's the only one who reduces die size.
And so I was at a D6 before.
It's a D4 now.
There is no D4 option.
No, you're out.
Oh, out.
So if you want to buy food, that would be something you can do from Oscar. You can buy some supplies before you go.
Yes, I would like to.
I believe that's under trade goods or no, it's just it's not an actual item you have to drag across. I forget the actual price. It's a couple silver, but we'll get to it in a second.
Okay.
You're able to get some extra gear, and as you're leaving, you meet Octa, who he and his men are leaving the hall. They slept there over the night, and most of his men have already gone down to a ship, but a few are leaving now, just with a few remaining supplies. And he will take you across the channel for a silver apiece and 2 silver per horse.
Bacho looks around. He's like, Bacho doesn't have that kind of cash. He does not have anything remotely close to that.
How much does it
have
cost?
that cash.
A silver per person and 2 silvers per horse.
Oh, well,
We're walking.
I have 4 silver and 8 copper. I could pay for
Maybe
us,
we
but
let
not the
Cloud
horses.
go.
It would appear that as much as I'm not keen to provide Mr. Lies through his teeth anything that he did not earn, I do not believe we can afford to take Cloud with us.
we could just go overland. We don't need to cross the channel. We can make our way elsewhere. There's nothing compelling
This is
us.
something that can be negotiated too. And you can also barter if you want to offer goods or make a manipulation to try and lower the price. That's something you can do.
We could take Cloud, turn him into rations, save you money so you don't have to buy rations, and then we don't have to pay for extra horse that most of us won't ride anyway.
This is not an acceptable recommendation.
I said Cloud, not yours. No,
You saw Bacho started to salivate.
they are kind of tasty, to be honest. A little
There's a
rough
little
to tear
bluebird
through.
in my hair that's just like hiding out.
Do you smell that?
No, definitely not.
Captain, how
either
about-
you eat a horse or you name a horse. You don't do both. This horse has a name.
Well,
Captain, could I
trade
trade passage for acting as a guard on your ship?
I don't need a guard, but you could work the oars.
I can work the oars.
I can
Give me-
cook.
One of you can give me a manipulation check with a +1 for each thing that you're offering. So Bacho's offering to work the ores, so that'll be a +1 die.
FYI, I have 0 in manipulation and a 2 in empathy, so it probably shouldn't be me rolling.
I have a 4 in empathy, and I would be offering to cook on the ship at least.
Okay, so that's +2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Let
better.
me-
And
Yeah.
I would also offer to work some ores.
Okay, +3.
3.
So whoever's rolling gets +3.
I assume that it's me for empathy.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's certainly not Zaldrun.
Well, I've got 2 5s, 3 4s, a 3, and a 2. So no 1s and no 6s. That might push that. Well, I have 2 2s, 2 3s, 3 3s, a 5, and a 4. No,
Okay.
Still no successes.
Oh my goodness. That's
Oh, no.
so many dice
and,
rolls.
I can use a willpower to double push.
Only if you're a dwarf.
Only if you're dwarf. Okay, sorry.
All right, so it looks like you guys are walking. You're unable to negotiate a deal with him. He seems very stubborn that morning.
Oh.
Yeah, what a jerk that guy.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I
hate
don't
them.
understand,
Well,
honestly.
in this case,
I
I
just-
am. She's
She's
going to go chasing after Cloud.
You will notice. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. We're feeling for you. You're fine.
All right, I'm back now, I think.
Yes, you're.
So
We lost a
you
ship.
guys
We gained
sat
a
off
horse.
the horses. You get packed up and ready to go. You will notice that as Okta and his last few men leave, you notice the man who accused you of lying and of betraying the men of Lingen. He is going with them. It appears that he has booked passage and will be headed to Lingen as well.
What was his name,
Sure.
by the way?
Oh,
Geralt.
Geralt. Okay.
Geralt to Riviera. Bacho, you should go do that contest of strength now because he is going to cause trouble for us by the time we get to the city.
If he would accept it, I would do it. But Bacha will just approach and go, "Sail well, coward. Unless you choose to put your blade to the test today."
As you're approaching, he kind of like starts walking away faster, and you have to like kind of just lope a little bit to catch up with him. And he, as your breath hits the back of his neck, he visibly like recoils and like turns, and he sees your teeth, but then he realizes you're not actually biting, and you see fear in his eyes, but he doesn't say anything, and he continues walking.
Bacha just laughs at his back. Noble human. You might as well be a dog cowering before the wolf.
After he gets some distance away, you do see him turn back and just glower at you. His face is bright red. You see a little bit of sweat, and he looks angry and scared all at the same time.
We have successfully made
Bacho
an
howls
enemy.
in laughter. Yeah, he does. But he's got a 2 empathy. It's not his making friends is not his forte.
I have a 4 empathy and I'm about to yell piss pants at him. So Mirren will like yell so Akun can also hear, Mr. Piss Pants, Mr. Piss Pants. Make sure you don't spoil all your breachers on the boat.
Tiny little halfling voice melodically carries through.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to start traveling then. Who wants to lead the way? And are you still going to Lingen? Is that still the plan? You're going to have to go through a couple tiles north, and then you're going to have to go through the mountains above Lingen. So it'll take a good chunk of the day. It'll take most of the day. It'll take a quarter to go 2 tiles, and then another quarter to go through the mountains. And then I believe it would take a third quarter to get to Lingen. So it'll be dark. Or no, because we're in the new week. It'll still be light, but it'll be towards the end of the day. It'll be evening when you reach Lingen.
Probably.
Is Wolford still with us?
Wofford is still with you. He's ride or die.
You could have paid for him to go on the boat.
You could pay for him to go on the boat. He'd take that.
He is nothing if not loyal.
So then he
And I
is
mean
nothing.
that. He's nothing. Yes.
All right. So who's leading the way?
Is that scouting?
Yeah, can you refresh the
survival
refresh my memory,
for-
please?
Yeah. If you guys you're still on the table, so you can click on the pouch, and that'll bring up the party sheet. You can click on travel there. Lead the way is
That's right.
survival.
That's survival. Okay.
My survival is 2, and my wits is 5.
Okay, yeah, you're better than that. I mean, then
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. Let's see. Wits, and so wits will be green, and survival will be. We just lost it. Okay, there we go. And can I take 1 audience die
Absolutely.
Of course.
since we got a silly number of them? Okay, 1 6.
Okay. So that's a success. What is everyone else doing while he's leading the way? Because you all get to choose an action as this is happening. You don't have to do anything. Most of you would just be hiking, but like someone
Right.
can keep watch.
Watch, yeah.
So I thought like the other things like hunt and fish, like that stops us. Like that's something that
does.
we don't make progress with.
Yes, you're right. Keeping watch is the one thing you can do while moving, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. Scouting wise, I mean, I have decent wits, but I have no real experience in scouting. But I can do it if no one else wants to.
I can do decently with it. I'd be rolling 5.
Oh, okay. Yes. Go right ahead.
I will
Go
keep
for it.
my eyes out. This is one of the benefits, I suppose, of the height that I have above ground. I can try to keep an eye out for things as we move. I will push because that's a whole mess of things that are not 1s or 6s. And that's still a whole mess of things that are not 1s or 6s. So that's no successes.
Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean something's going to happen, but if something does happen, you won't see it as fast. Which I will roll for now. Okay. Let me look at this table here. All right. You begin journeying through the woods to the north. This is somewhat familiar territory now. You just traveled through it the day before to get to Rochdale. You feel a bit of hesitation knowing that there are reavers in the area. You narrowly avoided them yesterday, and now you're going to have to skirt past them again. Fortunately, you don't hear any of their war horns. You don't hear any sounds of battle or any howls. And you're able to continue on. I need another lead the way roll as we get to our next tile.
As we get to a little bit into the wooded area, Mirren would like to pip up and say, I have a controversial idea.
This should make travel interesting. What is your idea?
Yes,
Eat
well,
cloud.
actually, I would prefer Wolford over that. But if you want, yeah. If we were going to LinkedIn for Dusty to sell the tablets because Wolford said that he was friends with him, but then we met somebody and they said he was broke because potentially Wolford stole from him, which
I didn't
means
steal
no
anything.
money. Yes, sure. Which means no money, which means maybe if we go, that would be eastwards to Terran. That's where the elves live. Maybe there's more money there, and they probably are interested in ancient stuff.
I know a lot of people in Terran too. I could probably find someone to fence it.
You make a good point there, Mirren. Shut up, Wolford. We were going there to meet with a man who Wolford stole from.
I didn't steal from anyone.
Shut up, Wolford. and is apparently broke based on what that traveling sorcerer told us. So, and you know what? Maybe it's better for us not to be where they think we're going, in case maybe others are looking for us now.
I mean, we've let Mr. Pisspants get on the boat as well, and so Lingdon, I don't imagine, will be friendly.
That's a good point, though. I would like to corner that one and test his courage, but you're right. Maybe I prefer elves over humans, and that's a hard stretch, but I still prefer it. So,
yes, it's a little bit more dangerous. You can see the woods are getting quite dense here, but I think most of us are decent survivors at this point, except for Wolford, but that's fine.
I mean, honestly, that means it's probably a plus then. We might be able to get rid of some dead weight. Hey, Wolford!
Why are you guys always hating on me? I've done nothing but help you.
You've done nothing. That is true.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
So
you're
what
all
is the
right.
plan then? Are you guys going to change course? You're going to head east then?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's
I
fine
like the
with
plan.
me.
Okay. It's going to take longer to get there. It'll be a couple days trip. And you can choose to skirt through the dark forest if you'd like, or you can cut through the dark forest. Dark forest has more dangerous things in it. And it's harder to travel through because it's not open terrain.
That sounds like we should skirt around it.
That's fine.
Okay. So give me one more survival roll as you're going into that next hex, Bacho.
Yes, I did. I got
And
2 6s.
Okay. That's enough. And that is our first quarter day. That is the morning. That brings us to the afternoon. And which way would you guys like to go then? If you want to head south, you can, or if you want to head north through the hills, you can. Just kind of give me an idea of which route you'd like to take. Or if you want to go through the dark forest, you can.
Bacho's eyeing the dark forest. He loves a challenge, but he's like, he looks at the rest. He's like, maybe south would be better. What do you think?
I'm just wondering if anybody's been through the dark forest before, has experience with it.
I haven't.
I usually keep to the waters.
That's entirely up to you guys. Coydwig Weald is the name of the entire forested area, but the actual heart of it is the dark forest. You've heard a lot of stories of the thonic creatures that dwell in there. They normally come out at night. There's a chance that you can get through without being spotted by one. But if you are spotted by one, it could be a tough fight for your lives.
I do love a good fight, but I'll leave that up to you guys.
It would be much better match than you trying to fight Mr. Lies Through Teeth, aka Mr. Pisspants.
That's true. I will lead whatever path you wish to go.
Sounds like we're skirting into the woods.
You're going into the woods. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So this will be another lead the way. Let me check, make sure there aren't any penalties here. I don't think there are. I think we're good.
One 6 and 4 1s, so I won't be pushing that.
All right. Mirren, what story is coming to mind as you're traveling through this dark forest?
Once upon a time, in a land very similar to this one, there used to be a house that had chicken legs, and sometimes it would run around and look for children to eat. And when those were scarce, it found full adults, and nom nom, they would all just disappear in front of it.
Now I want to find
I
a hut
shouldn't
with
have
chicken
gone with
legs.
this story in the forest.
All right. You travel through this forest that is almost claustrophobic with how close the plant and foliage grows together. It's difficult, especially for the horses. You can't really ride the horses. You have to guide them because there are so many low-hanging branches. Every now and then there's a clearing where you can hop on there if you want Zaldrin, but it's no more than a few steps before you have to get back off and start pushing away branches and things like that. Bacho, you've done a pretty good job of guiding them through. You feel like you're going a very direct route. You haven't found anything too circular. There is a point where, Bacho, you hear a humming of sorts, not like a singing humming, but like a vibration, just a very soft vibration. Your ears kind of prick at it. As you try to focus on where the sound's coming from, you kind of lose it. You continue pushing forward a little bit, and you find that there's a small clearing in this forest. It's not large, maybe 30 yards by 30 yards, somewhat round. In the center of the clearing, you see a large pillar, a stone. And on that stone is a carved face, a woman's face, and it's capturing a very sad emotion. You see that there's actually water running down the pillar, coming out from the eyes, just tears dripping down. There's moss growing on the stone where the water just has continually been going. The ground around this pillar is obviously soaked and soggy. The ash that falls immediately turns into muck. But it doesn't appear to be lifelike or anything like that. You don't see any creatures around or anything like that.
Dunk, what do you make of this?
So are we outside of the clearing? Like we're like looking into the clearing. We haven't approached it yet.
Yeah. You're still in the forest, looking through.
Okay. Is there anything like just the look of the thing, just the look of the face, anything like a lore check that might
Yeah, you can give me a lore test.
Okay. Let's do that. And I'll use a die.
Sorry,
We got
can I give him the help action or to give an extra dice? Because I have lore +1.
How are you helping here? Describe that. And then I'll decide if you can actually do it.
I'll sort of take a look at the woman as well and go, maybe it is to do with one of the old gods. And I'll try to like list off or think of old stories from the past that I might have heard.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Take the bonus die.
Thank you. 2 6s.
Okay. So surface level, you would have got this whether it was a success or not. The stone immediately reminds you of the story of the goddess Brita. She was framed by her sister, Gwenael, the trickster goddess, for a crime she did not commit, and she was executed by her father. It's often said that Brita's funeral is what caused Kadarin's pyre to erupt, creating the Veiled Age, the volcanic winter that's been happening for the past few centuries. So seeing this head crying is very reminiscent of the story where her head is eternally crying and it was buried under the earth and all fresh water comes from her tears. However, there is something more to this. There has never been any stories of monuments to Brita's head like that because it's a very shameful event. It's not anything that someone would want to commemorate. So there's a sort of sense of sacrilege that comes along with this. and a strange perverted type of magic. The druidic magic, the natural magic that you're used to, would have to really be twisted to be creating the water coming from the eyes like this.
With that, he'll say, "Oh, this is, Bacho, this makes me uneasy. This monument seems sacrilegious. Also, the magic that is coming through this place does not seem natural in the sense that it is clean, that it is of this world. It is something foul, twisted. There is danger here, I think."
Let's pull back and circle wide around this clearing then.
You start to pull back. Everyone seems on board with it. And Mirren, as you turn around, you hear coming from the clearing, "Mirren, don't go. Don't leave me." These are words that you've heard before. This is the voice of
We need to go
Isla.
very quickly right now. We really need to go now. We really should go. Very quickly now.
Okay.
Let's get around this clearing.
We're going.
The rest of you would be able to hear the voice yelling as well.
Don't
Mirren,
look back.
don't go.
Don't look back. Keep going.
But someone is calling your
No,
name.
they are not. You don't want to see that. Go, go, go.
I don't want to see that.
Yes, exactly.
I trust you, Mirren.
Bacho just starts to lope off, doesn't look back. He's got absolute faith in his pack.
Gunk as well. Like, if she does not want us to look, we shall not look.
The five of you and the two horses, you backtrack a little bit through the way that you've already cleared a bit of a path, and you start to give a healthy roundabout going around this clearing without getting too close. Mirren, give me a we're going to say just a straight wits test.
All
Feel
right.
a point of shadow coming on here.
Yeah, this is 3 die for me. Let's earn my best. A 1 and 2 2s. Not pushing that.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right.
This makes sense. This is not a good place for me right now.
You are taking 1 wits damage right now as you find yourself quite frazzled. But as far as you can tell, there's nothing that's following. You don't hear the sound again. And the journey seems to continue.
I think we got away. I think it's all right.
Away from what, friend?
The old stories. It's the old stories. They're coming back again. They're all coming back again with the worms and Brita, and it's not good. We just have to keep going. We can't look back. We just have to keep going. It's the only safe path. It's the only way to be safe.
I must say, you're generally quite stout for your size, and this seems to have troubled you.
Yes, I have. There's something that follows and knocks and follows and speaks and follows and knocks, and we really have to keep moving.
Yes, we are moving forward. But you'll tell us, of course, if such things
Yes.
trouble you again.
When we're safe, and there's light, and
You
we
hear
don't
3
need-
knocks echoing through the forest.
Yeah. Okay. We need to go quickly. I don't know that we can stop tonight. We just have to go. And I'm sorry about this, but we need light, and it will draw attention, but we have to.
We will. It is the lightest week of the year. We will find light.
Yes.
You still have
it's the
one more
light.
quarter day. It's the afternoon. So we're going to do one more survival check and scouting for keep watch. Bacho, as you're guiding one more.
I did not get any 6s, but I didn't get any 1s, so I will push.
Mirren is just like essentially hugging Zeldrin's legs at this point. She's stuck to them.
Okay. I got 1 6 and 3
Okay.
1s.
Oof. All right.
For the scouting,
Some damage, but you got a willpower out of it.
for the scouting, I did have to push. I got no 1s either time, and I got 4 6s. So I see everything.
Okay. Zeldrin, you're especially on edge after everything that Mirren's told you. So your eyes are open. Your head is on a swivel as you're watching everything. You see a few shadows moving through the forest. A couple of them are just birds flying away. A few of them are game, like deer, trying to avoid your presence. As far as you can tell, it's nothing predatory. But okay. You continue pressing through this dark forest. It's starting to become a bit exhausting. You've gone through most of the day. This is the third quarter that you've gone through, and you're going to need to decide to rest now or start force marched to try to get to Terran if you want to go another quarter. So what would you guys like to do?
Mirren, I know you
Yes,
said you did not
yes.
want to rest. This has been quite tiring terrain to travel through, and Ben could sure use some time off her feet.
Are we sure?
I'm-
Are we sure it's safe though?
We'll be safe for resting, I think. I'm mentally I'm exhausted. My senses are frazzled. My head is pounding. Mirren, I think we just need to make camp and be diligent in making camp and keeping watch tonight. Elsewise, I think we may not be able to face something tomorrow should it come on us.
Tonight, it might come tonight. Yes, if we have to rest, can we create a circle of fire around the outside? Create a trench with fire? That'd be safe. We could be safe in the fire.
And Zeldrin is looking at the fairly dense woods that we're in. We can keep watch. We can rotate a watch. I'm not entirely sure that a ring of fire would be safe or keep us hidden from things in dark.
So if we do our make a camp roll, depending on how well we succeed at the make the camp roll, will kind of give us an idea of how secure our camp is. And then if somebody's willing to stand guard through that quarter day, they'll be pretty exhausted, but the rest of us would be rested.
I don't imagine Mirren.
Well, someone can rest while you're making camp, and then that person can stand guard while the rest of you sleep.
Friends. Mirren, this danger, is it real or is it magical? These noises we have heard.
Yes. It's old. It's both. It is very real, and it is something that you can only run from. You cannot fight. As soon as you start hearing the knocking, it will follow you forever.
Well, there is something I might be able to lend to our camp.
Yes.
Perhaps make us more fortuitous against magic. One moment.
And so he's going to like kind of scramble through his little kind of fanny pack, and he's going to pull out this, maybe grimy piece of chalk or something, or like just a rock or whatever. And then he's just going to start drawing in a circle around the camp, wherever it is that we decided to make camp. And I'm going to cast a spell. I'm going to cast Magical Seal, which essentially is it's a location. It's no bigger than the humans, so I would say if it's Mirren we're worried about, or if it's not Mirren, like we must stay very close to one another. Be very careful, and so just compact. And I'll just try to draw and get as much as like our central camp as possible in wherever he might say, but making sure that if it's Mirren we're expecting that's being kind of like tracked or something, I'll make sure she is like primarily the one who's protected. And so then I'm going to go ahead and do my rolls. Yeah, no mishap. So everything's fine. And so basically what it is just if there's any spells cast against this person or place during the quarter day, the power level is decreased, and it's going to be decreased by the level of the magical seal, which is going to be 2.
Okay. And you're rank 2 already, so you don't need to worry about a mishap, right?
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, I rolled it anyway, so yeah, I have to roll like the 2 die, I think, anyway, for the willpower I spend.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get rolls for the make camp. That's a survival. And I think you need to find a good place too, which is also a survival.
So my after my last roll, my survival is down to 2 wits dice and 2 survival. So I don't know if I'm still the best or not.
I am the same. Can I, in a panic state, kind of give the help action, or is that a little beyond my mental?
No, you can still give help and take actions. You just took the 1 wits damage.
Yes. So I also have 4. So I'm going to help Bacho try to find like a good. I'm very focused on finding a safe place to camp and giving him help on that.
Bacho, take a rest. I can do this.
So maybe part of
thank you, Gunk.
Part of the seal spell and just like looking around for a good spot too, because I'm a little higher now at this point than you guys, so I can roll it.
Bacho, if you're taking the rest action, that means that you would be basically sleeping now, and then you could keep watch while everyone else sleeps.
Yes, because I will recover then.
Get the
All right,
rest.
so go ahead, Gunk, make that roll.
Okay, and I get 1 from Mirren. You said correct?
Yes.
Okay. 2 6s.
All right. That was the make camp roll or the find a good place?
That was so I mean, I'm not sure if is there a find a good place thing?
Find a good place. I don't think you actually need to do that.
That's part of
only
it.
certain hexes.
Okay. Make camp, I guess, is probably what I was
so
rolling.
We'll do the make camp. There's not going to be any place that's necessarily better than another here. You're just going to have to clear an area, and it's going to be a bit crowded more than you're used to. The ash somehow manages to penetrate even the thick canopy above, and it still falls down slowly. You make the camp as best you can. You're drawing that circle. It's only a few more minutes before the ash falls over that chalk circle, but it's still there. The magic is still imbuing it. Mirren, you're going to be... Sorry,
I would want to say to Mirren too, because it's a very relatively small circle. Unfortunately, it's not one that can kind of cover the whole camp. So, but we are both very small. So I would say,
okay, stay within the confines of this. I will stay next to you as well. It will be fine. You will be fine. And then Bacho and Zaldrin, they will look for physical dangers, and I will be here to protect from magical ones.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Wolford chimes in. Don't worry, I've got excellent night vision. Nothing's going to sneak up on us.
I'm so much more scared now.
Wolford,
all right.
There's something behind you.
You managed to make a nice camp. Let's go ahead and get a keep watch roll while the camp is being made. And then Bacho, go ahead and make your keep watch roll for the night.
All right, so I will do the first one. I'm going to take an audience to keep this high. 1 success, and I rolled 2 1s, so I don't know that I'm going to push that.
Okay, 1 success is still good.
And overnight, I also just got 1 success.
Okay. It takes a while for
roll.
It takes a while for darkness to fall. These long days. This week happens every month, but it's still always hard to get used to compared to the rest of the month just being so dreary. The fact that you're in the dark forest does kind of dim things down, but it still takes longer than you would expect to become dark. Mirren, you are plagued by bad memories. Not necessarily dreams, because that would imply that you're able to get some sleep. It's very fitful. and you can't rest. That very familiar face continues to pop up in your memories.
Are you sure no one's here? There's no one here? It's so dark out.
There's no one here. I can see in the dark. There's no one but us. You are fine. I promise.
The quarter day when you're making camp passes by. The night takes hold. Bacho, what are you doing to keep yourself awake here as you're watching?
Oh, Basso got a pretty good rest while everybody was making camp. So he does what he always does when he's on guard. He keeps his back to the camp and he just lopes around the camp in a sort of a never-ending circuit without retracing his steps once. Varying his distance from the camp, but always keeping sight and, more importantly, scent on those within the camp. But he never stops moving. Sword out, ready.
You said you got one success, Bacho?
Yeah, that is correct.
There is a little bit of light from the fire that barely penetrates the canopy. You're trying to stay out of the light so that your vision is adjusted better. Mm-hmm. You're not blinded by the fire. You still can't see that far. There's so much foliage on top of all the shadows that it's hard to see much of anything. More than once, you think you see movement. You think you see some sort of creature passing by, low and large. Not necessarily humanoid, but some sort of primal creature.
Can I try to track it as it moves through the underbrush? I mean, is it moving in, or is it just moving past the camp?
Moving past, almost following your circuit.
Okay.
Just as you're circling the camp, it's making a wider circle. I'm going to say you can sort of track it with the success you already got.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to follow it along. But it's not that shadow that actually causes you alarm. It's from inside the camp. Gunk, Mirren, very close to you, as in both of you think the other one might have said it. You hear, Mirren, don't go.
We have to go.
Zaldrin,
we have to
you
go.
hear this
we have
as
to
well.
go. We have to go. We have to go.
So Bacho turns back into the camp and looks for a source of the sound.
Oh, what? Bacho, what?
Everybody to arms. There's something out here.
It's here. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's in the dark and we can't see it, but it's here.
Bacho, you turn towards the camp, and the camp is fairly well lit by the fire you have going. Gunk and Mirren, your chalk circle is right next to the fire. As far as you can tell, you all and Wolford are the only ones there.
He pivots back to face out again, concerned that he might, something might be moving in to strike while his back was turned. And he just howls to wake everyone up.
The
Pretty
howl
sure I woke Gunk up.
pierces through the quiet of the night. Anyone who wasn't awake is now awake, grabbing their weapons in fear, realizing it's Bacho and settling a little bit, but still being on edge, ready for an attack. As far as you can tell, you're the only ones in the camp.
Gunk, there's something here.
Okay,
We should move.
Okay, one moment.
I'm gonna burn 5 of the audience die to get a
For
willpower.
willpower.
And I'm gonna cast True Sight. And so I'm essentially looking I'm holding. I don't think I have a magnifying glass, even though it's the ingredient. But I'm holding my hands up to my eyes and just sort of looking around. So let me just roll my 1. Yeah, I'm cool. And so I'm essentially just trying. So it lets me see through any kind of disguise or shapeshift. Obviously through darkness, I have no problem with that anyway. Smoke, fog, etc. And I'm just seeing if this is giving me sight of anything. If there's something invisible here, if there's something like hidden here, anything like that.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I want to read this spell just to be perfectly clear that I don't mess it up. It's under symbolism, right?
It's awareness. So it's true sight. You can
Awareness,
enhance your
yeah.
vision to be unnaturally sharp and see details at distant range as if you stood right next to them. In question, true sight also lets you see in darkness, through smoke and fog, and automatically see through any kind of disguise or shapeshift.
Okay.
And you must have a clear line of sight. So that's why I'm like kind of doing the like sprinkler head around to see if there's anything within the camp.
So within the camp, you see nothing. Looking around into the foliage, into the darkness, it's difficult to see because it's so dense. However, you do see the sight of a very large black wolf-like creature towards Bacho's area. Like where Bacho is looking, the creature he's been tracking, you're able to spot it. It's definitely not a wolf, but it looks similar. It's built much bigger, and it's just pure darkness.
I will mutter, Bacho, there is a creature of darkness, wolf-like, to your 6, behind you in the brush.
Yeah, I sense a gunk. It has been pacing around the camp all evening.
Perhaps we take the fight to it and quit waiting around to be bait.
At that, Bacho lets out a howl and a yelp and charges. Once Gunk tells him to fight, he's on.
Let's go into combat here.
Let's go. I am not going to be good for this fight.
Let me introduce you to my other Wolfkin friend next time around. His name is Choba. Really nice guy.
Come, Wolford.
We're just going to use the grid here on our table. Bacho, you're going to be furthest there. I'll put you two like there, and then Zaldrin will be like that. All right. Let's go ahead and put you all on the combat tracker. And go ahead and roll initiative, guys.
Let's see here. Bacho, do you want to, you have a 9, which I believe is the highest, if you would like to switch with me?
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Because I am near catatonic and shouldn't be going first.
That would be fantastic.
Did someone already roll for it all? Because I already have a number in mind.
I only rolled mine.
I might have rolled yours by accident.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
What were you supposed to be?
No, me. I mean, 6 is. I didn't roll, so 6. Whatever you rolled is fine.
Yeah.
6.
I clicked the wrong button. I'm sorry. All right. So, Bacho, you're going first. This creature, as soon as you start bursting through the foliage, it springs towards you as well. And it takes an action to move. It has moved 2. So it is on you before you even get a few steps. And it will leap forward, tearing at you with its sharp claws.
I will parry. Because I get 1 free parry every round.
You're going to need it. Actually, I'm sorry. You cannot parry against a monster attack. You can only dodge against monster attacks.
Then I will.
Because I've learned the rules.
I will take it like a man.
You can dodge for your fast action if you want.
Is it a fast action? Dodging?
Yeah.
I thought. Okay. Then yeah.
And then
I'll
the
dodge.
slow action is, yeah.
Yep. I'll dodge then.
That is 3 successes.
Well, crap on a stick. Can I take a audience dice?
Of course.
Because I'm gonna need it. I got 1 success, so I'm going to push it. Nope, 2 successes.
All right, so that's going to be 1 that goes through. Are you going to do an armor roll?
I will do an armor roll. Let me take a look at my armor. 2. Okay. 1 6.
Okay, so that blocks it all then. And it is your turn, Bacho.
All right. Bacho is going to do a couple of things here. He's going to spend a willpower point to enact his Path of Blades, which, when you hit in close combat attack, well, I'll see if I hit first. You can spend a willpower point to find the weakness in your opponent's armor or natural armor, and the armor has no effect against your attack. So let's see what we can do here. It's 4, 3, and a bonus die for sword fighter, and 2 for a sword. Okay, I got 3 successes and no 1s, so I'm going to push it. Six successes, but I did take a point of damage to my sword.
All right, 6 successes. This thing is rushing towards you, crashing through the underbrush, lashes out with its claws, and you try to sidestep. You can't quite get away, but your armor takes the brunt of the attack, and you're close enough that you just bring down your sword, a massive hit on it. Did you spend the willpower to stop it from using its armor?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Then it's taken the 6 damage. Ooh, that's a big hit. All right. And that brings us up to Gunk.
Okay. Seeing that my pack brother is now engaged, I will. Am I close enough to with my fast action to close the distance?
You would not be able to get to arm's length. You'd be able to get to near.
Okay, so I will do nothing this turn then, other than move, so that I am next
right.
to. Next to that.
Yeah. All right. So you are within arm's length now. Zaldrin, what would you like to do?
So Zaldrin would want to also move up. Will she be able to attack with the
Same.
spear?
You're
Same
at short
thing.
range right now, so you'd be able to use one action to get to near, and then it'd be another to get to arm's length.
Okay. So then I will swing around next to Gunk.
Okay.
So that we've got 3 of us around this thing.
Mirren, what are you doing?
Mirren is shaking. She's nearly in like a little fetal position, but she'll try to like shakily pull her bow out and knock an arrow in it. And she's just trying to like hold it for maybe next round.
Okay. That brings us back to our nightworg. Let's see who it's going to bite at. That is Zaldrin. So the 2 of you, Gunk and Zaldrin, you come crashing through to try and get closer to it, and this creature whirls about and will...
Is there any way that Bacho can throw himself in front of Zaldrin to take the hit?
I don't think you necessarily have an action that would allow that. I rolled randomly to see who it would go for.
Just checking. I think there's a talent that'll let you do it, but I don't have it. So
it sounds familiar. Yeah, like a bodyguard or something.
Yeah.
All right. It is using Lockjaw. The Nightworg bites the armor leg of one of the adventurers and locks its jaw in a brutal grip. Roll for the attack. And if hit, Zaldrin will be grappled. That is 2 successes. So, Zaldrin, would you like to try and dodge this?
Sure. Sorry, so dodge is.
Move and agility.
Let's see what I've got with that. Agility and move. One success.
Okay, so one still gets through. You are now grappled, and it's damage 2. So it's actually going to do 2 damage despite 1 success going through. You can use it, make an armor roll to try and negate some of that if you'd like.
I don't have armor.
Okay. So that's 2 strength damage then. And you are grappled by this creature.
Okay.
Bacho, you're up.
As Bacho pulls his blade back to swing his weapon, he will lock in this creature's scent. He will not let it get away. So I will spend 3 willpower using my Wolfkin hunting instincts to be able to track it for 3 days, but more importantly, give myself 3 bonus dice. And as my slow action, I will swing the sword, giving me another bonus die. Two, 3 successes, no ones, so I'm going to re-roll the rest of the die. Five successes, 2 ones, but they were on my melee skill check, so they don't have any impact. So 5 successes.
This creature is going to...
And
Go ahead.
I will spend my last willpower point to bypass its armor.
Okay. The creature is going to attempt to dodge first. It is not actually grappled, just Zaldrun. So that is 1 point there. But you bypassed its armor, so it has no chance you are doing enough damage. Describe how you're killing.
So he sees this thing lock its jaws around Zaldrun, and he basically comes over its back and just leaps up, reverses the grip on his blade, and just brings it right down into the base of the thing's skull till the blade bites in the ground, and then he just wrenches it to the side and tears half of its throat out.
Blood is gushing out. The blood of this creature is just as black and shadowy as its fur, and it creates almost like it looks as if a hole is opening up in the ground. It looks like it just could continue going on so far that there is no light, but it's just how dark this blood is, along with how dark the night is. Bacho, you begin cleaning your blade. Zaldrun, you have to like wrench open the jaw to get it to let go of your arm, even in its death. Gunk, you are looking around, looking for more. You still have your true sight going. It seems clear. You turn back. You see Mirren with her bow and arrow notched. And for the briefest moment with your true sight, you see another halfling behind Mirren. A halfling with a vicious wound across her head and blood pouring down over her face. You blink, and the halfling's gone.
What? What was that? Mirren? Did you
Yes.
Did you see? Behind you there is...
He's like kind of like wiping the mud out of his eyes.
There was something there. There's one of your people, halfling. I saw.
She was here. She was here. We need to go then.
Blood on face. Who is this person?
We're not in a safe place. We're not. We have to
The
go.
world is not safe. The world is not safe, and we will not find safety more so than here. What is it? What is this thing that haunts you?
It was a mistake. It was a mistake, and I can't go back home anymore because they'll come and they'll keep coming. So we have to keep traveling. We have to keep moving.
Who will keep coming?
This is why you have to bury your dead 6 feet down. They'll come back if you don't, and you'll hear them, and they'll come and they'll get you.
Okay, no one is going to get you. You are safe. You are among friends. Bacho, Zaldrin will wrench apart whatever creature comes to take you. What?
Okay.
But what is it that is chasing us?
My best friend.
Your best friend. It's a little hurtful, but what happened to this best friend?
There was an accident. We were attacked when we were hunting. I had to go. It wasn't safe. They were going to kill both of us if I didn't.
Okay, that is fine. That is fine. Who is there? Who killed your friend?
Reavers, as far as I know, hopefully nothing darker or deeper. I didn't have time.
Reavers killed your friend, and now your friend haunts you.
They looked like Reavers. They had the faces of Reavers, but in Halfling lore, same with my parents. They never came home. You don't come home when you hear the knocking. You can't. They'll keep coming until you join them.
It is very curious. We are nowhere near Halfling lands. We are far away from it.
I mean, we were at Orr's Rest. We were spitting distance from Orr's Rest.
We are deep within a very dangerous forest. There are dangers here, I will not lie, but I do not think it is your friend. It might be something else, something playing with your fears, something playing with your what is on your mind here.
Hope it never happens to you as well. It's a death sentence eventually. We can only just run until we can't.
And I will look, and so Gunk will look over at Bacho and Zaldrin, and he'll say,
Normally, I might say she is not well, but I saw something. I did. I saw something standing right behind her, a halfling, blood on face, wound. It was there for just a moment.
I've fought the dead when they rise. She's probably right. It'll haunt us, but we'll just have to stop being prey and start being the predator.
Yes.
and he'll kick
all the
thing on
while,
ground.
Bacho he's skinning this nightworg.
Getting the good fur out of it.
He's like meat and fur.
All right.
Not sure that's edible.
Bacho, you're able to skin the beast. The fur could be highly valuable.
That's what I'm hoping for.
The rest of you go back to camp. You make sure that it's secure again. As far as you can tell, nothing has come out. There's a thick smell of blood now of this nightworg, but it's not the iron as much. It's more putrid. It's vile. Makes it harder to sleep, but how can you sleep after what happened anyways? You go back, you try to rest as much as you can. Bacho, you continue doing your circles, looping around.
And Bacho's rubbing the blood of the nightworg into his fur.
He's like, nothing will come at us when I smell of the warg.
And it appears to work because nothing comes at you for the rest of the day. And this is where we're going to end the session here. We'll pick up next week with the next morning. But you guys have made it most of the way through the forest here. And let's go ahead and do XP questions. Oh,
We lost your camera there.
I'm here. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do XP questions because I'm remembering this time. Did you participate in the game session? Yes, you get 1 XP for being here. Did you travel through a hex you have not visited? Yes, you have. Did you discover a new adventure site? No. But did you defeat a monster? Yes. Did you find a treasure worth 1 gold or more? Possibly with that warg fur. Let's go ahead and say yes for that. No function in the stronghold. Did any of you activate your pride? I don't think so. One of you at least suffered from a dark secret.
I wonder who that was.
Did you risk your life for another PC? Bacho, you definitely did. Anyone else want to make a case for it?
I would argue everyone except for Mirren did.
Okay.
I mean,
I've
Zalzar
got
and
this
I,
big hole in my leg.
We did run in. It's just you started us so far away from the combat, we weren't allowed to do anything.
You were at short range. That's not that far away.
Listen, man, if you enjoy doing nothing for a round of combat, I'm not going to argue with you.
My chunk is missing from my calf. Says that I sacrificed something for the
so
group.
take the XP.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Perform an extraordinary action of some kind.
Killing a
Anyone wanna make an
nightworg, killing a nightworg in one-on-one combat. Well, no, it wasn't one-on-one combat. No,
You did do a good hit though. Gunk, you cast a couple good spells too. Zaldr and Mirren want to make a case for anything?
Nope. That was all about the darkness today.
All right. Well, that's it. Let's go ahead and wrap it up then. Aaron, what do we got going on at Garblag?
Well, let's see. On Garblag tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, Jim will be taking us back to the old world of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition. We will be starting our new campaign, Shillings and Crossbones, where we will be we'll be outside of the Empire, and we'll be doing some pirate shit. So that should be a lot of fun. So please join us for that. Roger's playing an ogre. It'll be our first ogre in Warhammer Fantasy, so that should be a hoot. And then on Thursday, I believe Pete is starting a 2-week special of an OSR dungeon game, Dark. I
Shadow
can't remember
Dark.
the name. Shadow Dark. Thank you, Jeff. And then Thursday night, North American time, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be back with Modifius' 2D20, Octoon Cthulhu, Shadows of Atlantis. We're still in where are we at, Jeff?
We're in Honduras, I think.
Honduras, that's it. Yes,
Yeah.
We're still in Honduras. So we may all die, who knows? But it'll be some Nazi punching good times. So you should come join that too. And that's it for the rest of the week in Garblag.
Take us home, Jeff.
Yeah, buddy. So a Friday, Aaron is going to be in the GM seat as we are going to play more 2D20 game. We're playing Conan again, so we'll be back to that. It's going to be our second playing session. We've got the preview first session, and we have our character creation up on YouTube if you want to catch up before then. Saturday we'll be doing One Ring, second edition, episode 49. We're closing in on 50. We have like some big giveaways planned for episode 50. If you want to hear more about them, come hang out with us on Saturday. We'll tell you all the wonderful details. Monday next week we'll be doing Holler for Savage Worlds. We also just last night did some Horror on the Orient Express. I'll be dropping that on YouTube tomorrow as well. Plenty of stuff on the YouTube channel if you want to go see all the past games that we've played before, including Steven's last campaign on the channel, Haunted West, is up there as well. But that's it, right? I think we're good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for tuning in, and I appreciate you all bearing with me. I know I'm a bit low energy tonight as I'm still getting over the plague, but thanks. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad to be back.
Right on, man.
Don't forget
Thanks
to
for
bury
suffering.
your dead.
There he goes. We're going to go ahead and raid Lost Caravan RPG. So click the raid now button when it pops up, and we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Good night.